Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is our second video on RCC MCQ series for all the competitive exams that are written by our students. Either it may be KPSC or SSC, RRB, or you are writing any KPSC exam, WRD, RDPR upcoming notification. ಸೊ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಮ್ಮ 37 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ 37 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. If you didn't visit or didn't see the first video, in the I button I have given the link or video link. You can go through that one, or you can visit our playlist, right? RCCMQ series playlist, you can watch from there, right? And if you want to join our Telegram channel, please go through our description box. In there I have already given the link of the Telegram channel. If you are first viewer of this video and you are first viewing our channel, please subscribe our channel Civil with Sudhir to get more notification or to get more videos, the quality videos like this in the future. Okay, so let's begin the today's first question. Let me take the pen first. So very important questions I have covering for all the exams, right? So let me take the pen color. Okay, okay, right? So welcome to our YouTube channel Civil with Sudhir. Let's begin today's class. The first question, today's 37 question, right? The next video's first question is 37. Partial safety factor for concrete and steel is 1.5 and 1.15 respectively, because yesterday only I have explained you concrete is always manufactured by workmanship, right? So the quality will be compromised. Quality of concrete is compromised, and the strength may vary. Okay, strength may vary in the concrete. But coming to steel, okay, I will write here. Coming to steel, right? Coming to steel, what will happen? The steel will be manufactured with the proper methods, with proper specification, with proper material specification, with the good condition. In good condition they will manufacture, so the strength can we can assume very easily. So that's why the partial safety factor for the concrete and steel we will consider 1.5 and 1.5, because concrete is HO while steel is homogeneous. Control on the, yes, this second answer, the control on the quality of concrete is not as good as that of the steel. Okay, so this is the correct answer for this question, right? So ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, whatever I told you in this explanation, that is in this word format. Next, question number 39. The assumption that the plane section normal before bending remains normal after bending is used. Always remember there are four methods, right? So normally we are using limit state method for design of all the members, and one of the old method is working stress method. So there are some assumptions, there are some assumptions we will use while designing any structural members, right? So the first assumption, always we assume this question is itself is an assumption, right? So it is only used in which one? Only in the limit state method or working stress method? In both the method we will use. In both working stress and limit state method we will use the plane section. Means, for example, this is a plane, right? If you bend like this, if you bend like this, the cross sectional front area will not changes, but the total area, right, this area will be changes, but the plane section will not be changes. Okay, so that is the important point you have to remember, right? So this is the explanation about the that what I have explained you. So the question for this answer is C. Next question, question number 40. Question number 40. While estimating a reinforced cement structure, the omitted cover of the concrete is assumed, right? So always remember, at the end of the reinforcing bar, for example, this is the what we can say, this is a beam, right? So the reinforcing bar is here. At the end of reinforcing bar, right, the link will be like this, right? This is stirrups, not less than the 15 mm. This one is not less than the 15 mm or twice the diameter of the bar. This one is correct, right? In thin slabs, 12 mm minimum diameter of the bar, minimum or diameter of the bar, whichever is more. This one also correct, right? So the slab will take always 4 inch, right? 4 inch means it will goes up to how much, 100 mm or 120 mm, right? So for reinforcing longitudinal bar in a beam, 25 mm minimum or diameter of the largest bar, whichever is more. This one also correct. So these are all the facts. These are all the facts you must remember. So the answer for this question is all options are correct. Okay, next question. According to witness, witness theory, witness theory, the maximum depth of concrete stress block in a balanced RCC beam section of depth D is taken as. They have asked about balanced, okay, they have asked for balance as well as witness theory. Witness theory is different. Let me explain what is witness theory. It is for ultimate load theory. It is an ultimate load theory. You can see the this is a sketch and this is the neutral axis, right? And this is a cross section of the beam. This is B and this is the overall depth. This is overall depth and this is the effective depth. Okay, so this is a stress diagram and this is a strain sorry, this is strain diagram, stress diagram. Okay, so you can see there is an always the parabolic portion, right? This is a parabolic portion and you can see there is a rectangle portion for the this one. So it is based on the assumption that extreme edge of compression side strain is assumed to be 0.003 instead of 0.0035. So they are taking 0.003 by using this witness theory, ultimate load theory. Stress in compression is assumed as approximately parabola. So this is the stress diagram. This is the strain diagram. Okay, so the strain and T is a compression. This is compression. Sorry, this is tension here, and this one also tension here. So the depth of neutral axis stress block is taken as 0.537 D. D is a effective depth. Okay, he found that the average stress of the rectangular stress diagram is 0.85 FCK. You have already written like this 0.85 Fy, right? So like this you have to remember. Okay, this is about the witness theory. Next question. So question number 42. Previous question answer is which one? This one question answer is 0.53 D. Remember, they are asked about the witness theory. If they only ask about the balance section means the answer will be different. Next question. The limit state of serviceability. Limit state of serviceability of pre-stress concrete sections should satisfy. What it should satisfy? Limit state of serviceability. Right? Serviceability. Right? Another one is which one? There are two limit states. One is limit state of collapse and one is limit state of serviceability. So the coming to this one, right? So the deflection and the cracking, right? Deflection and cracking section should satisfy to overcome the state of serviceability of any structures, right? So the acceptable limit for the safety and serviceability requirement before failure occur is called as limit state, right? Limit state is nothing but safety and serviceability before failure, that we call it as a limit state. So limit state strength includes what? Load carrying capacity, structure, stability against overturning, stability of sway, right? So this is the what, right? This is plain frame. So when you apply the load from this, it will appear like this, right? So that is the against sway, patio, brittle fracture. So limit state of serviceability refers to what? Service loads that include deflection, cracking, vibration, detorious, and the corrosion, pounding. So all these factors you have to remember. Okay, next. Sorry, the unit weight of RCC, unit weight of RCC in kg per meter cube. See, remember always for plain concrete it is 2400 kg per meter cube. Sorry, meter cube. For RCC it is 2500 kg per meter cube. If you converted it is in kilonewton, 24 kilonewton per meter cube. So meter cube. Okay, this is 25. Okay, but here they are asked about the unit weight of RCC. But you can see this is 2400 kg per meter cube, and for the RCC it is 2500. Most appropriate option, because they have not given the option nearby. Either you have to tick this one, either they will give grace mark, because the options they have not given correctly, right? Either they will give grace marks, or you have to tick this one, because this is appropriate answer, right? Next one, the partial factor of safety for concrete as per IS 456 is, partial safety factor for which one? Concrete is 1.5. Okay, factor of safety for the concrete is 1.5, and for 1.15 for steel. Next question, question number 45. The approximate allowable stress, they are asking allowable stress in axial compression in reinforced concrete. They are asking allowable stress in axial compression in reinforced concrete. Always remember, so for design purpose, yesterday only I have drawn the diagram. This is a stress diagram. Sorry, this is stress and this is strain. So we have a three different lines, we can say, right? So this is 0.002, and this is extreme fiber 0.0003, right? So this one is FCK and this is 0.67 FCK. So why they will take the size effect here, because what we tested size of the cube, that is 150 mm, but actual size of the structure is very different. So that's why we have to take the size effect. After, for the design purpose, for actual purpose, again you have to use the 0.67, right? 0.67 divided by 1.5, so you will get 0.44 FCK, right? So you have to use this 0.44 FCK for the design purpose. Now see, design purpose, compressive strength of the concrete shall be assumed in 0.67 times the characteristic strength. Due to variability of concrete size at laboratory and site, the partial safety factor is 1.5 shall be applied in addition to this. You can see here. So it will get the 0.445. So this is a stress diagram and this is strain diagram. You can see, right? 0.445 FCK here, and this is a parabolic portion. You can see this is a parabolic portion, and this is the XU is a limit depth, or we can say the actual neutral axis, right? And here the neutral axis actual. This is a 0.002, right? 0.002, what just I have shown in the diagram, right? 0.002, and this is rectangular portion and this is a parabolic portion. Done. Okay, next question, question number 46. Tensile strength of concrete to be used in the design of reinforced concrete members is, right? It is always 0.7 root FCK. Don't think that all questions are easy, because first I will covering the all the easy questions, so that you may have some confidence while studying. Okay, then I will take the some difficult questions. Okay, don't worry. Tensile strength of concrete is 0.7 FCK and it is tested for 28 days, and the cube size is 150 into 150 into 150 mm. ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನೆನಪಿರಲಿ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, the minimum quantity of cement content that is needed in 1 meter cube of reinforced concrete which is directly exposed to weather, right? Minimum quantity of cement content exposed to weather is about, right? So ಯಾವ condition ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, they have not given the condition, so that you can remember reinforced concrete which is not directly exposed to weather is under mild exposure condition. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, quantity of cement that needed one reinforced concrete which is not directly exposed to weather is ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ condition will become mild exposure condition. So this condition will arise and this table is from the IS 456 ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಕೋಡ್ ಬುಕ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಕಲ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Read the code book IS 456 if you want to be perfect in RCC. You must know all the tables, you must know all the formulas, then only you can be perfect. If you know only theory, you will not be succeed in RCC. Okay, so you have to remember the IS 456 table 3. What it will say, that is the environmental exposure conditions, right? So that is a mild condition. So what the mild condition is giving? Concrete surface protected against weather or aggressive condition except those situated in the coastal area. See, they have only given this condition, they have not given a mild condition, right? How can you predict? So you have to remember this statement also. ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಕೊಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they may confuse you. And this is the table number 5, right? Minimum cement content, maximum cement water ratio, minimum grade of concrete. So all we will discuss, that is they have given in the clause 6.1.2, 8.2.4, 9.1.2. So how you have to remember how to read this table? Very easy, right? First of all, drag one line here because it is plain concrete and reinforced concrete. Okay, so they have three, you have to remember three different condition here: minimum cement content, maximum free water ratio, minimum grade of the concrete. You have to remember this. And 5 condition: mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme. You have 5 conditions, exposure conditions. So now they are given for the mild condition in RCC, they are given the 300. If they ask moderate, it is 300, for severe 320, and very severe 340, and extreme is 360. So you have to remember the different grades also, they may ask the grades. Easily remember always, this is, they are increasing order: 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You can easily remember 0.55, 0.5, 0.45, 0.45, 0.45, 0.4, right? So you have to remember. They may ask the in plain concrete also, but if possible you have to remember this one, minimum this one you have to remember, RCC. Next question, question number 48. Okay, wait a second. Okay, okay, question number 48. Okay. One minute. I will change the color of the pen so it is not visible to you, right? Yes. Question number 48. The allowable tensile stress in high yield strength deformed steel stirrups used in reinforced cement concrete is in Newton per millimeter square. They are asking the permissible stress, or permissible, how much it will be bearable. So that we can study it by. So this, I think this is not visible for you. Type of stresses in steel. Type of stress in steel. And this is mild steel bars Fe 250 in Newton per millimeter square. This is HYSD, high yield strength deformed bars, that is Fe 415 in Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so this is the name. Now in tension, tau ST and tau ST or tau SV up to the and including 20 mm diameter. If it is 20 mm diameter, mild steel bars having the stress value permissible is 140 Newton per millimeter square. If it is HYSD, that should be 230. It is up to how much? 20 mm. I will write here 20 mm. It is 20 mm. Equal to or less than 20 mm. If it is more than 20 mm, if it is more than 20 mm or 20 mm diameter, compression in steel, this is tension, and this is compression values 130, right? Over 20 meter is 130 and this is 230. If it is in compression, column bars, tau SC, right? Permissible stress in compression it is 130 for mild steel and it is 190 for the HYXT bar. This tabular column is important. Remember this one. Okay, if you want you can take the screenshot. Okay, screenshot ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. Okay, done. Next question. Question number 49. M10 grade of concrete approximate dash mix. Right, so M10, how much M10, how many of you can answer easily? Right, M10 they are asking. M10 means, see, as per IS 10262 2009, what is this? This is a concrete mix, design mix, right? Design mix code book. This is code, you have to remember. Important point, for different grade of concrete, M10 136, M15 124, M20 1 1.53 and M25 1:1:2. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ now? Please, all of you say with me, M10 1:3:6. ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. You have to say with me, M10 1:3:6, M15 1:4, M20 1:1.53, M25 1:2. Okay, remember this. One question will appear definitely from this topic. Okay, it's my challenge to you, where M is referred as mixed design and where number 10, 15, 20 refers as characteristic strength of the concrete at 28 days in Newton per millimeter square. You know this one, right? So the ratio means 1:3:6 means what? 1 is a part of cement and 3 is a part of fine aggregate and 6 is a part of what? Coarse aggregate. This one you know, right? So this is an important question, remember. Question number 50. The maximum allowable percentage of tension reinforcement in RCC beam. They are asking how, which one? Tension reinforcement, and they are asking how much? Maximum. Always remember it is 4%. How? Let me explain. So the maximum area of tension reinforcement shall not be 0.04 B into D. This is a cross sectional area, we can say, right? When we draw, sorry, okay, always the beam will come cross on. Okay, I will do one thing, sorry. Cross section of the beam, this is neutral axis, right? So this is B and this is what? D, overall depth. So this one, when you multiply, you will get what? Cross sectional area. So that is the 4% of the total area they will take. So the minimum area of the tensile reinforcement shall not be less than how much? The AS, right? AS divided by B into D and 0.85 divided by Fy. So AS is what? Area of the tension reinforcement, and B is the breadth of the beam or the breadth of the web, right? This is the T beam, you can see. Okay, this is the T beam, right? So breadth of the beam or breadth of the web of a T beam, breadth of the web of a T beam. This is the flange and this is web. Okay, so effective depth of the beam, and D is small d is effective depth. Fy is the characteristic strength of the reinforcement in Newton per millimeter square. This formula is very, very important. Please remember this one, this formula, to calculate minimum tension reinforcement in the beam. Question number 51. If the thickness of structural member is small as compared to its length and width, it is classified as. Okay, before going to solve this one, just remember, for example, this is slab, right? The thickness is very less compared to its length. This is length and this is width, right? So what will do? We will ignore the thickness. In that type of condition, what we'll do? We'll ignore the thickness of the member because the length and width is very higher compared to its thickness. That type we call it as a two-dimensional. Okay, simple questions. If they ask you what is a two-dimensional structure in building, you have to remember the slab. Thickness of structural member is small as compared to length and width is called as a two-dimensional. Example is slab. If one dimension of structural member is much larger than other two dimension, it is classified as one-dimensional. Example, beam and column, right? One dimensional is beam and column, two-dimensional is slab. Always remember. Important question this one. Factor of safety is the ratio of what? Yield stress to working stress. Factor of safety is the ratio of yield stress to working stress. So factor of safety is the ratio of ultimate strength of the material to working strength. That is the permissible stress. So yield stress by working stress, and factor of safety is the strength of the material. For example, this is a pen, right? So what is the strength of this pen divided by how much it will take the stress. For example, the strength of this material is 5 Newton per meter square, and permissible stress is, right, how much, 6, 7, anything, right? It is 5, but permissible is 7, right? So if you divide this one, you will get the factor of safety. Okay, always remember this very simple concepts. Next, question number 53. The modular ratio M, working stress method. When M will come, this is in the working stress method, remember, of concrete whose permissible compressive stress is C, may be obtained from the equation, right? Always remember 2C equal to 280 by, right, 280 by 3 tau CBC. This is the formula, but they have given here like this. Let me see the what is the difference. So modular ratio of concrete is given in working stress method, that is the M equals to 280 by 3C, where C is the permissible compressive strength in Newton per millimeter square, right? So it is always depends on the grade of the concrete. Grade of concrete. This permissible strength is depends on the grade of concrete. We have a tabular column in IS 456. You can see from there. Okay. If C is given in kg per centimeter square, then the formula will be changes. 2800 divided by 3C, or we can say instead of writing C, we can write tau CBC also. Okay. Right, done. So the answer for this question is C. For M15 grade concrete 1:2:4, the moment of resistance factor. So they are asking the moment of resistance factor, right? Let me think. This is like a derivation. You have to derive. So see, in the working stress method, M is a what? Modular ratio tau BD square, right? And theta is a moment of resistance factor. When you see this one, J is a lever arm, and K is a neutral axis factor. So when you apply this formula, right, and okay, using this what, see, you can see the tau CBC modular ratio. So when you apply this all in this formula, you will get 0.87, right? 0.87. 0.87 we can say BD square for M15 and Fe 250. For the assumption purpose, for example, you can see one, they have given M15, but 250 they are taken as a mild steel for assuming. Okay. Next question. If the stress in each cross section of a pillar, is just equals to its working stress, its form is called each cross section, right? When we divide each cross section of a pillar is just equals to its working stress, then we can say all the strength are form of equal strength, right? It may, we can say, for example, they are saying this is what the pillar, right? What they are saying, each cross section of a pillar means breadth, this is sorry, this is depth, and this is B, and this is depth. Okay, cross section pillar is just equals to it working stress, means how much load you are applying, and will take that one only. So that is a form of equal strength for all the pillars. Okay, according to IS 456, the number of grades of concrete mixes. Now remember, this is very very important. They are asking the number of grades of concrete mixers. So according to IS 456 2000, first one, ordinary concrete, that is from the M10 to M20. How many? 10, 15, 20. So 3 numbers. Second one, standard concrete. In standard grade of concrete from M25 to M55. So how many numbers? 7 numbers. 7. This is 3. High strength concrete. Third one, high strength concrete. It is from M60 to M80. How many numbers? 5 numbers. Right? But according to the amendment number 4, May 2013, what they have changes from M25 to M16 in standard concrete. In standard concrete, M25 to what they have done, M60. So the number of samples, now number of grades will be 8, because they have taken M60, they have taken in standard, and in sorry and in high strength concrete from M60 to M100 they have mentioned already. So you have to remember the number of how many grades you have to count and you have to write. Okay, so the question for this answer is 7, because they have given appropriate only 7. If they given 8, you have to select 8. Right, done. Question number 57. As per IS specification, the nominal concrete cover for moderate exposure should not be less than. Right, so moderate exposure they have given. Moderate exposure. See, this is exposure condition, this is nominal cover, this is minimum grade of concrete. Right, so mild condition it is 20 mm, so grade of concrete is M20. Mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme, you have to make song. Right, make a song. Mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme. Okay, so you can remember easily, otherwise it will be very difficult to in sequence you can't remember. Sequence ನೆನ್ಪಿಡೋದಾಗಲ್ಲ. Mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme. Okay, so remember like this, you can easily remember. So 20 mm ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಇದೆ, 20 mm nominal cover, the grade is also 20. So 30 mm for moderate, grade of concrete is M25. Severe 45 mm, grade of concrete M30. Very severe 50 mm and grade of concrete is M35. And extreme condition 75 mm. How the exposure condition coming down and down, the nominal cover is increasing and the grade of concrete also increasing. Remember this point if you want to make tukka. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಗಾಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೂ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಕಿ. ರೈಟ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾಮಿನಲ್ ಕವರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ 30 mm. Question number 58. The factor of safety for steel as compared to concrete is what? Always lower. Right, you are just I have explained you why it is lower. We will not time pass repeated question. In limit state approach, spacing of main reinforcement controls primarily what? Limit state approach. Okay, they are asking in limit state method, spacing of main reinforcement. For example, this is the plan view. Right, these are the main reinforcement and these are the distribution bars. Main reinforcement, right, and these are the okay, main reinforcement, these are the distribution consider. Right, so what the main reinforcement controls primarily? It controls always cracking. Right, it controls always what? Cracking. So in limit state approach, what? Spacing of main reinforcement primarily controls cracking within permissible limit under normal exposure condition. Means mild, moderate, mild or moderate, they will control the what? Cracking. So durability member is ensured by cover requirement, grade of materials. This one. Deflection of the member is ensured by taking span to depth ratio. For cantilever 7, for simply supported how much? Yesterday only I have explained you. Right, for simply supported and for continuous how much? Please comment me in the comment box. Okay, so cantilever 7, simply supported and continuous, please comment me in the comment box so that I can know how much my students are daily they are studying. Okay, so the deflection of the members ensured by span to depth ratio, where the depth of the beam exceeds 750 mm. For example, depth of the beam. If the depth of the beam is 750 mm, more than 750 mm, what they will do? Okay, usually what we'll do, we will provide the reinforcement here only. We will provide the reinforcement here only. If the depth of the beam is exceeds more than 750 mm, okay, we will provide the side reinforcement here. We will provide the side reinforcement. This is called side reinforcement. This is side reinforcement. Provided two phase to control. This is two phase here and here, here and here. Two phase to control crack width. To control the crack width, these reinforcement are 0.1% of the gross area equally distributed on both the faces. Both the faces here and here. Okay, done. Have you understood about what is side reinforcement? Why you have to apply? See, by questions only you can know so many things. Question number 60. In the bending, the maximum strain in concrete at the outermost compression fiber is taken as. In bending, maximum strain, they are asking maximum strain. Maximum means this one. Outermost compression fiber is 0.0035. Right? So outermost compression fiber is 0.0035 in bending. Maximum compression strain in concrete in axial compression. Here, this is what 0.002. This is axial compression here, and 0.00035. It is outermost compression fiber. Here stress and this is strain. Right? Simple questions. You have to remember answers. 61 question. In the design of pre-stressed concrete structure, which of the following limit state will come under the serviceability limit state? Before going to answer this, first remember limit state method. We have two different limit state. One is limit state of serviceability. One is limit state of what? Collapse. So they are asking serviceability means what actually they will take. Okay, let me tell you, factor that will come under limit state of serviceability is deflection, corrosion, cracking, vibration. Right? Serviceability means after the construction, what is the deflection, what is the corrosion, after how many years, cracking of how many years, vibration due to uncertain any environmental conditions. Right? So all these factors after the construction, right? That is the serviceability. Right? And limit state of collapse are flexural, that is bending, shear, torsion and compression. We can say these are the important factors, right, for both the while studying. Either it may be serviceability or it may be collapse. Please remember these 8 points. You can answer anything on the LSM and working stress method or limit state method. Question number 62. In case of reinforced concrete, what is the minimum grade of concrete that should be used in seawater or when exposed directly along the sea coast? Let me read the question one more time. In case of RCC, what is the minimum grade of concrete that should be used in seawater or when exposed directly along the sea coast? To answer this one, always remember the mild, moderate or exposure, that tabular column you have to remember. In IS 456, concrete in seawater exposed directly along the sea coast shall be at least M20. Right? Sea coast is M20 in case of plain and in M30 in case of reinforced concrete structure. So M30 is the answer for this question. And minimum grade of the RCC for any construction is M20. Remember this one. Next question. The section of reinforced beam where most distant concrete fiber in compression and tension in steel attains permissible stresses simultaneously. Yesterday only I have explained you three different sections: over reinforced, under reinforced and which one? Balance section. Now when we read this question, we can say simultaneously means always it is balance section, right? So critical section and economic section will not come. So you can see by seeing option also you can directly tick. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. Next question. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Dead load, right? They are asking about the dead load. Include self weight of the structure and superimpose loads permanently attached to the structure. This is correct. First one is correct. Second, dead loads change their position and varying in magnitude. Dead load will not change. Live load always changes because you can move the chairs, tables on your houses, right? Dead loads are known in the beginning of the design, right? And none of these, right? So the answer for this question is dead loads includes what? Self weight. Now, dead loads are example of gravity loads, act vertically downwards and are relatively constant over time. Examples are beam, columns, slab, as well as non-structural elements, floor coverings, fall ceilings. All these we have to remember. It will come in dead load. Dead load is not known before the structure is designed. Structure design ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So dead load ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ 875 part 1. Remember this code. For dead load the code book is used. Code for live load 875 part how much 2 I think, right here part 2. In live load is imposed load, those are which are change in position, correct? And temporary loads, short table, anything. I am sitting on table, I am a live load, right? So examples of live loads are furniture, equipment and other structures. Okay, right? Dead load and live load, important takeaways from this question is the code book 875 part 1 is dead load, live load. Next question. Live load varies in magnitude, correct? Varies in position, correct? Expressed as uniformly distributed load, all options are correct. All options are correct. Right? Just we have studied about the live load. No need to study one more time. In a singly reinforced beam, this is the cross section of the beam. This is a neutral axis of the beam, right? Where stress and strain are zero, right? This is a compression zone, this is tension zone. If you apply only, if you provide only steel at the tension zone, that we call it as singly reinforced. If you provide the steel at the only, sorry, at both compression zone and tension zone, that is a doubly reinforced beam, right? Doubly reinforced beam. And if you applied only at a singly reinforced beam. Now let me read the question. Singly reinforced beam, if the permissible stress in concrete reaches earlier than that in the steel, the beam section is called as. They are asking stress in concrete reaches earlier than the steel, means first concrete will failing, so it is over reinforced. When the concrete will fail, that is over reinforced, means brittle failure. If the concrete fail, it will not show any type of strain, it will fail directly. Brittle failure, we can say that is an brittle failure. That is a over reinforced section. In over reinforced section, maximum permissible value prior to the steel X is more than XCR, AST priority is more than AST balance. Failure in compression is brittle failure, right? IS code does not recommend this. They will only under reinforced section we will design. Always we design under reinforced section. Question number 67. Permanent dimension changes due to loading of concrete is termed as. Permanent dimension changes due to loading of concrete always, right? It is for creep. We can say when the dimension as well as loading for long term, it is the what? Creep. Permanent dimension changes due to loading of concrete is creep. When concrete is subjected to what? Sustained compression loading, its deformation keeps on increasing with time, even though the stress level is not altered. Time dependent component of total strain is called as creep. It is time dependent. So if you want, you can take this sketch. You can see first the instantaneous strain, creep strain, and when the load is unloaded, load is removed, right? It will again come down, right? So the instantaneous recovery and creep recovery, residual creep strain. So why the creep increases? If the cement content is high, water cement ratio is high, aggregate content is high, air entrainment is high. This is admixture, right? This is admixture, air entrainment. Relative humidity is low, temperature is high, size and thickness of the member is very small, load occurs at early age, right? Loading sustained over a long period of time. These all are the what? The effects of on the screen. They may increase the creep. So you have to take care about these factors. So what is strain? Strain is defined as a ratio of change in length by original length. Done? Okay. Next question. Question number 68. Which is IS code gives details regarding water to be used in the concrete? IS 456 or IS which one? Right? Always remember IS 456 only recommend you about what quantity or what quality of water you have to use for your construction purpose. Okay, so IS 456 code gives details regarding water to be used in the concrete. That is the requirement of section 5.4 of IS 456. If you want, you can go through that this article 5.4 in the IS 456 code book. Water used for mixing, curing shall be clean and free from this one, you know, right? So IS 383 is for coarse and fine aggregate for concrete specification. Very, very important. IS 3012 for chrome magnesium, mainly used for the production of Authentic stainless steel where part of nickel is placed by magnesium. If you want, you can remember only this one. IS 565 is not specified. Okay. So remember these 2 points, IS 383 and IS 456. Next question. Question number 69. How does an increase in the pitch of a roof, right? Pitch, right? This is a pitch, right? This is a pitch. How does the increase in the pitch of the roof affect the amount of load that can be placed? As the pitch increases always, the load carrying capacity always what? Decreases. Load carrying capacity, what will happen? It will decreases. Why? In building construction, you can say this is run and this is pitch of the roof of the slope. Right? So this is a pitch angle and this is span. Truss or sloping roof. This is the rise we can say. Okay, so in building construction, roof pitch is numerical measures of steepness of the roof. Roofs may be functionally flat or pitched. Pitch of roof is vertical rise divided by its horizontal span. Vertical rise divided by what? Horizontal span. As the roof pitch increases, load carrying capacity decreases. Done. Next question. Which of the following statement is true? Let me read. Most of the loads applied to a building are environmental loads, not environmental loads. Most of the loads are dead load followed by live loads. This one I think correct because all loads not environmental loads. Okay, let me discuss. Different type of structural load acts on the building like dead loads, live loads, right? Environmental loads like wind load, snow load, earthquake load, and thermal load. Out of them, major loads are dead load followed by live load. That's why this is not environmental load is not a major load. Question number 71. When not specified, the volume of steel in RCC work is taken as, means if they not given any specification, right? So how you will take the what we can say the steel volume of steel? Always remember volume of reinforcement, right? Example, volume of reinforcement in slab to lintel 0.7 to 1% for concrete volume, for column 0.8 to 6% for concrete volume, for beam 1 to 2%, for foundation 0.5 to 0.8% for the concrete volume. But here you can see one value, that is from point how much 5 to 2% is a maximum for any type of structure. 0.5 to 2% is maximum, you can't take more than that one. Okay, And important point, in case of slab, quantity of steel is different in different structural elements because load taken by different elements are different. Load on beam is slightly greater than the load on the slab. This is slab, right? And the beam will construct here. The load on the slab is, this is beam. Beam always take more load compared to slab. That's why slab and beam, there is a difference in the percentage of steel also. Simple concept. Okay. Now question for this answer is D. 0.6 to 1% RCC volume. Question number 72. What will be the rain load in PSF if DS is 2 inches and DH is 1 inches? Okay, first of all, you will not understand what this is a question. This question is, they ask in while design, right? They are design while rain load, or we can say where rain is heavy, right? So given that static head means DS, that is 2 inches, hydraulic head DH is 1 inches. To calculate a rain load, right? So this is a formula, R is equal to 5.2 DS plus DH, DS plus DH, right? This is 15.6 PSF. So what rain load is calculated using IBC equation, that is the International Building Code, that is 5.2 DS plus DH, where R is a rain load in pounds per square foot. PSF means pounds per square foot, pounds per square feet, and DS is static head and DH is hydraulic head in inches, right? Simple one problem is there, right? You have to remember. Question number 73. Flexural strength of concrete is determined as, 1 minute. Okay. Flexural strength of concrete is determined as, it is always remember as modulus of rupture. So the flexural strength of concrete also called as modulus of rupture. Tensile strength of the concrete in flexure is called as a flexural strength as per the code. So what is the formula? 0.7 into root FCK, where FCR is flexural strength, FCK is the characteristic strength. It is used to determine what onset of cracking or the load at which the cracking starts in the structure, right? Okay, right? Only 6 question left for last question. Only 6 question for this session. Concrete is what? Concrete is good in compression and weak in tension. Simple questions with simple answers. If you want, you can take this, right? Just remember. Question number 75. In the design of RCC structure, the tensile strength of concrete is taken as, always we say tension we will neglect, right? So we will not consider tension in while RCC structure while designing. We will only take compression force. And then also if you want to calculate, not taken have any tensile strength, it is as 0, but IS code recommends to, that is a 0.7 into root FCK. So what are the different tensile strength of the concrete? Let me explain you. There are 3 different uh, tensile strength. One is flexural tensile strength, second one is split tensile strength, third one is direct tensile strength. In short, I will explain you. Flexural strength is flexural tensile strength of concrete is called as flexural strength, used to determine the onset of cracking or loading at which the crack starts in the structure. For example, this is pen, right? If you apply the load, right, at what force it will crack. So if you are calculating that one, that is a flexural tensile strength. So it is it is measured by testing beams under 2-point load. At a 2-point load, I will remember this 2-point load. 2-point load ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? This is P, right? 2-point load. Next, split tensile strength, right? You can see the sketch, right? You can see the sketch here. Split tensile strength, it is measured by testing cylinder size, this one, right? So they are given 150 mm dia and 300 mm length. 150 mm dia, 300 mm length. Because due to difficulty in applying uniaxial tension to a concrete specimen, hence the tensile strength is determined by indirect method. If they ask you what is the indirect method, that is the split tensile strength method, right? So we will apply the load here. These plates we will apply the load here like this, from the upside we will apply the load, right, at the bottom also, right? So the crack will appear like this here. Okay, so the split tensile strength is 2p by pi dl, 2p by pi dl. And direct tensile strength is measured by testing rectangular specimen under direct tension. In the absence of test results, the code recommends to use an estimate of flexural tensile strength from the compressive strength by the following equation. So your tensile strength always depends on your what compressive strength, that is a 0.7 into root FCK. Okay, so you have to remember this one, right? So the question for this answer is, so none of the above, because we will not take the tensile strength. Question number 76. In which beam tension capacity of steel the steel is greater than the combined compression capacity of the steel and the concrete? In which beam tension capacity of steel is greater than combined compression capacity of steel and concrete? So it is in the over reinforced, because capacity of steel is greater, combined compression capacity of steel and concrete greater than the combined compression capacity of steel and concrete will be in over reinforced. And singly reinforced beam and doubly reinforced beam, just I have already explained you. This is a cross section, neutral axis, this is compression zone, tension zone. If you applied only at the bottom of the, if you applied only the steel at the bottom, that is what singly reinforced. Applied both at compression zone and tension zone, that is a doubly reinforced beam, right? So these two are those only. Question number 77. The beam outside a wall up to the floor level above it is known as, it is always spandrel beam. So what is spandrel beam? Let me explain you. Right? You can see, first see the sketch. This is a slab, and at the bottom you have a simple beam, not spandrel beam. But floor level of, this is second floor, this is a spandrel beam here, and this is a roof, right? So this is the second floor, and it is up to, it is, we call it as, this is a deep beam also, spandrel beam. So in the beam outside a wall up to floor level above it is known as a spandrel beam. In case of where it is used, high rise building, the masonry walls are usually not able to withstand their self weight and the slab weight. In such cases, the beams are provided to exterior walls at each floor level to support the wall load. These beams are termed as spandrel beams, right? In high rise building, for example, if you are constructing 20 floor building, right, if you are constructing the wall just above this one, right, so if you use normal beam, it will not withstand that weight. So we have to use the spandrel beam, means the depth of the beam will be increases, okay, by floor by floor. It is not necessary that under the beam allows always be wall. There can be a column and window, but spandrel beam will provide only at the exterior wall. Remember, spandrel beam only we will provide at the exterior wall, not at the interior, right? Next, the weight of the reinforced concrete is generally taken as weight of reinforced concrete, right? 2500 kg per meter cube. They are asking weight, but this is the density, right? But by seeing the option we can say, right? By seeing the option we can answer easily. With usual notations, the depth of neutral axis of balance section is given by, they are asking what? Depth of neutral axis for balance section. Let me tell you, for singly reinforced section, right? So this is the B and this is the overall depth D and this is the effective depth from here, right? This is, yeah, here they have given, right? And this is the neutral axis. Now this is AST, area of the steel, area of steel in tension, right? So this M is a modular ratio, B is the width of the beam, D is the effective depth, and X is the depth of the neutral axis. FCBC is what? Stress in concrete in bending at extreme compression fiber. FST, stress in steel in tension. FST, where is FST? Here, right? So if this is FCBC. It is in compression, this is compression, this is tension. So from similar triangles, they have taken this one, right? From similar triangles, FCBC, this one, and this is FST by M, and here this is X and this is D minus X, right? And this point they have taken X by 3, D minus X by X, and FST by M and FCBC. So you will get what? T by MC is equal to D minus N by N. So this is what for the usual notations for the neutral axis of a balance section, right? It is some different question. This is a different question, okay? So the answer for this question is what? Answer for this question is D. So MC divided by T, N divided by D minus N. Next, today's last question. According to IS 456, the number of grades of standard concrete is 7. Just I have explained you. Okay, friends. So this one M25 to M55. Please like, comment, and share this video or this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, don't forget to subscribe our channel Civil with Sudhir, right? If you want latest notification or if you want latest job notification, please join our telegram channel. Please join our telegram channel Civil with Sudhir. Okay, thank you one and all. Thanks for watching this lesson or thanks for watching this study video, right? So please comment me who are like how was the class. Please comment me if you want any correction in this one, so I will make and I will provide for all of you. Thank you one and all. Thanks for watching our video. Thank you.